With Klay Thompson sidelined, the Raptors had all the answers in Game 3 of NBA Finals. Live video. Klay Thompson had never missed a playoff game before Wednesday night, but in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. That injury, now the momentum belongs to the Raptors. As great as Steph, box score. The Warriors deserve credit for refusing to make anything easy. Curry was unbelievable. Each time that kind of game looked possible, Toronto closed the door. Late in that second quarter, for example, the Warriors were rallying before the half, almost exactly the way they did in Game 2. 14 points. In the third quarter, it was more of the same. After Toronto, in the fourth quarter, with the lead back down to 7, Serge Ibaka stepped into a 20-foot mid-range jumper on the wing, then added a put-back layup on the next possession, then blocked a DeMarcus Cousins layup at the other end. The lead was 11. Lowry had been struggling through the first games of this series, going for 10 ppg on just 6-20 shooting. On the Warriors' side, Curry responded to the adversity as well as anyone could have imagined. Steph. Toronto was just too good all night long. Going forward now, this Raptors team may not win a championship despite the question marks. The Warriors are still favored in the series, but this was a championship-level response from a team that has been responding that way for a solid month now. Back in the middle of on Sunday night in Game 2, Toronto was up double digits with a chance to send Golden State into a real crisis, down 2-0. Then the lead disappeared. In the end, Game 3 was another sign that this Raptors team is different than the Rockets or Blazers teams that cracked under Golden State's pressure, and different from all the Toronto teams that have wilted in the past. From top to bottom, the Warriors, of course, are not going away. Everybody. Related slideshow. Best of the 2019 NBA Finals provided by Iman.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.